And here we are, OmniBros Live on Sunday. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. And we weren't sure what's going to happen after that countdown because I'd never done it before. So it just worked, which is great. I'm OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault, and I'm joined by Comics Guide's Lou. How you doing, Lou?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good. Everything's fine. So far, so good. I put up Black Widow's picture just because I thought maybe the last 10 minutes of the show, we could put up a spoiler and talk about what we thought about Black Widow.
Okay.
For the very last 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm assuming you enjoyed it?
Well, that would be a spoiler.
Okay. Well, we will wait till the last 10 minutes, and I want to hear what you think about it. I'm really curious.
Okay. Yeah, I will say that my movie buddy and I went. She's the one I always go to. All the action superhero type movies, and I was the only one wearing a mask in there just because I'm still paranoid, and even though I've been vaccinated, but there was enough annoyance that it. Some kid was a few seats over and he just kept kicking the seat in front of him, and it created enough of an annoyance that I'm like, okay, we're watching Suicide Squad at home. I don't care if I have to pay $30 for it or if it's free on HBO Max. I don't care. I'm watching this at home.
Aren't you glad to be back in the movie theater, Jess?
Well, when we go to the Alamo, it's not an issue. Alamo is always really cool, but we went to an AMC theater and they allow everybody in, unlike Alamo, which only allows movie fans in, I guess.
Right.
But it was summer, and I guess the dad had two kids with him, and he did as good a job as he could have.
Oh, poor guy.
It was just enough of an annoyance that I just wanted to watch it at home. But I will give you, when we figure out we have 10 minutes left, I'll tell you exactly what my feelings were, and you can tell me yours.
Okay, cool. Jess, why don't you tell them what isn't an annoyance?
That would be InStockTrades.com. Let's see. InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add another 2% to that. The end of every month, we give away a $50 gift card to IST, courtesy of IST, to a lucky viewer out there. I think that's a pretty boss promotion. We're lucky to have that. Mm-hmm. Over $50 in an order gets you free shipping in the U.S., fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Thank you, InStockTrades. Yes, InStockTrades.com. I don't have any other fancy graphics for them. Since I'm running the show, it's my paltry choice of stuff for my channel, and I don't have all the GIFs and memes and movies and stuff that those guys do.
So how's your week been, man?
Okay. Things are okay. How about you? How's your new life going?
It's good, man. Miami is certainly a very different town than where I come from. Yeah, everybody seems like they're in a rush to get wherever the hell they're going to. It's very ecstatic. Everybody's just all bouncing around all over the place. It's pretty crazy, dude. It's pretty wild out here. So
it's that much different than Orlando, huh?
For me, it is. It's a bit of a different culture shock because Orlando's more laid back, especially in the area that I grew up in. Miami is very much just bouncing around all over the place. It's always active and stuff like that. Thank you. So it's pretty different out here. It's very different, actually, I should say. But how's the pain thing going? When do you go in again for your procedure?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, man. What time do you know?
I'm supposed to be there at 10:15.
Oh, in and out, right? You're going to be out of there that afternoon?
Yeah, it's an In-N-Out burger, only they call it In-N-Out pain pumps.
Do they give you a burger at least when you walk out of there? You know,
That'd be great. Uh, yeah, I don't know what to expect, but this has been since I've known you, this will be my 5th surgery since I've known you. And the others, I've always met with the doctor beforehand, so I knew what was going to happen. But I haven't met with this doctor. I've just talked to the nurses and the surgical coordinator. And I have a hell of a lot of questions. And they said, oh, he'll address those with you tomorrow at the surgery. I'm like, I kind of want to address sooner than that. And they're like, we'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
This isn't a last minute thing. Like, you should probably fill me in on a few of these things that I should know what's going on.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be all right. I'm trying to focus on the positive aspects and not the negative. So, you know, positivity creates positive outcomes.
Absolutely.
So I'm going in there to have him help me with my pain. So he's going to want to help me with my pain. And he's that's his purpose is to help get rid of my pain. So I assume he's going to be cooperative in, you know, taking care of me. So that's my attitude.
Nice, man. That's pretty cool.
Thank you to everybody in the chat that's being nice and giving me well wishes. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, this is a comic show, and since I don't do Mondays that often, why don't you fill me in, Jess? What are you reading lately?
Okay. I just got done doing a show with Kristen yesterday.
Ooh.
Where well, this week I've been reading the Madman Library, edition number 1, and Barry Windsor Smith's Monsters. I also read on my iPad Undiscovered Country, Volume 1 and 2, which is, I think, awesome. I love it.
That's Snyder?
Snyder and Soul.
Whoa, hold up. A Soul book?
I know.
Soul book.
I think they bring out the best in each other. I'm really digging that book.
Huh.
And it's 2 trades out, Undiscovered Country, and the concept is, you haven't read it?
I have not. I've fallen off of Snyder in the last few years pretty hard.
Oh, well, I think you might like this. The United States has sealed itself off from the rest of the world.
Sounds about right.
And then within the United States, there are factions that have sealed themselves off.
Okay.
And there's it's too complex for me to even spoil. The rest of the world, there's a plague or disease that they can't control, and they get a message from the United States that they have the cure for it. Send emissaries. And they pick particular emissaries. Send these emissaries, and we'll give you the cure to this plague. And those emissaries all meet up, and then the stories about their journey in to nobody's heard from the United States. Nobody knows anything about the United States for the past, I don't know, 25. I don't have the book in front of me. It's upstairs. But it's for a long period of time where they haven't heard from the United States. And they built up an impregnable wall around the whole thing with like a force field bubble around it. So there's one guy on the team that his parents, he and his sister are on the team, and this guy is on the team presumably because he tried to get into the United States and got caught. So he knows a way to get into the United States, although they grant passage. And then there's all kinds of not occult stuff, but there's all kinds of secret. Let me try and think. There's tons of secrets to be discovered if you have the right keys. Like it's almost like they're going to Oz. they're trying to get on this journey to find the cure for this, but they encounter all these separated states that have different governing bodies, and one of them, so far, I've only been to two. One's like the Wild West, and the other one is this incredible high-tech state. And they're being granted passage through each thing, through each state. So it's like Wizard of Oz meets I don't know what it would be. It would be like the craziest Wizard of Oz ever, and they're trying to find the secret to. It becomes more than just finding the secret to the discovery of the cure for this disease that's out there.
Mm-hmm. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Escape from New York or Escape from LA. Have you ever seen those John Carpenter films?
I saw Escape from. Yeah. Oh wait, is LA the one where he rode the big wave?
Yes, we don't talk about that one.
I didn't like that one, but I loved the New York one.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that where you've got Snake Plissken. He has to kind of break into the actual New York and stuff like that because he knows how to do. That's a cool premise, dude. That's Snyder. Is this series done yet, or is this ongoing right now?
It's ongoing. It's Tolgaberg. It's Undiscovered Country, by Snyder and Soule.
Huh.
I feel like it's going to go on for quite a while because it's only 2 trades, and they have a timeline in each book of before the sealing of the United States, the sealing off, and then what happens within the sealing off of the United States within. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me, okay, it's Wizard of Oz meets East of West.
Okay, I like East of West. Okay.
Yeah, because in East of West, they've got that council of elders or whatever, council of whoever represents all the territories.
Yes.
They have that kind of thing in this. They have representatives from all the various independent territories within the U.S., and one is really high tech, and the other is like live free or die, and it's anarchy. And we haven't met the other. Those are the 2 we've met so far. We haven't met the other territories.
Okay, cool. Did do you know if East of West ever finished? Because I remember I got about halfway through. I got about 25, 30 issues in. I was like, this is brilliant. I love everything Hickman is doing here. But this is going to be something I want to read in one go.
Yeah, it's all finished, and he totally stuck the landing, in my opinion.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Was that me? What was that?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'm glad to hear that he stuck the landing. I don't think Hickman. I'm trying to think. I don't think Hickman has never not stuck a landing of his series. Like a lot of his high concept stuff, you would think that it would be difficult for him to stick the landing, but he's been pretty solid all around. I mean, his Fantastic Four for me was brilliant, and I love the fact that he basically wraps up the series, and then he gets like 10, 12 issues just to play around and do like a bunch of really cool stuff and send the Fantastic Four on really cool adventures. I love that.
Yeah, that's my favorite Fantastic Four run. I felt like Avengers by him was great. You couldn't put either one of those, for me anyway, I couldn't put either one of those down and read something else, or I'd get lost and forget and have to go back and start them over, because they're pretty, like you say, they're pretty high concept. They're pretty complex. So I needed to read both of those straight through.
Yeah.
And East of West is really enjoyable all the way through.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love the whole concept.
I think you dig Undiscovered Country because it's got a lot of really high concept, interesting stuff that I'm trying to not say it's political at all, because it doesn't deal with you don't feel like it's anti this or pro that. It's just a concept of what if this happened and what would happen within and without the United States? What would happen outside and what would happen inside?
Okay. All right. So it's not like they take sides of they take obviously one clear side of the political spectrum.
Right. Yeah. I don't think there's a political agenda here. I think it's more they're wondering what would happen if.
Oh.
Of course, I don't know. Maybe Snyder. I don't follow social media, so maybe Snyder's saying, "Yeah, this is a total political statement." I don't know.
Give me 1 second, Jess.
Okay. Hey, Jake, how's it going, dude? Good to see you. There's lots of people in the chat. It's good to see everybody, and thank you for all your well wishes. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Psycho Sam. Chris Original Pit Recipe, thank you very much. Thank you, NFL Dude. Jesse Say What, thank you. Master Jess, wow, thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't get anything removed by accident. I'll try not to, Tolga. The idea is he's just putting in a little thing and running a catheter to my spine to drop the medicine in there. So I hope everything... That's hilarious. I hope everything stays in place. Thank you very much, Mr. Awesome. Good to see you. Chest Rockwell, how's it going? Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody wishing me well. That really makes me feel good. It's really nice. It's super nice that you guys are thinking of me. I really appreciate it. Mr. Tex, don't feel nervous. I don't want to feel nervous. You feel positive for me. Think that everything great's going to happen and I'll come out 100% better, Jess. Like I'll be able to post YouTube 3 times a week and do Instagram all the time. And don't be nervous. Just think positive thoughts. Let's see, where were we? A huge contrast to my infinite pessimism. Well, I try to stay positive, especially about comic books tomorrow. And thank you to Collector. I appreciate that a lot. Here is Johnny saying, "Oh, you guys are the first 2 I came across on YouTube regarding collected edition hardcovers. Just the Spectre, Wrath of the Spectre Omni, Comics Guide. Oh, absolute All-Star Superman. Yeah, I did get both titles. I'll save that and put it back up when Lou comes because that's one of his most famous videos. I remember that video too. The ding, that meant the pizza's done and ready, right? He's over getting the pizza now. Oh yeah, Wade and I always have trouble saying his name. Waringo. That is a great Fantastic Four. That's my second favorite. First favorite is the Hickman, but yeah, Wade and the Great Artist are really good, and I think that's an especially good Fantastic Four for new readers, whereas Hickman's is not a good one for new readers. But somebody wanting to be introduced to Fantastic Four, Wade and Waringo is the really good one. Thank you, Tyler. That looks like a Mignola Usagi. Thank you for enjoying the live stream. I appreciate that. Positive thoughts. There you go. Good job. Babylon Shadows, thank you. I'll try to come back as soon as possible. Ghost 2X, after your surgery, read Batman Damned and see if it truly helps with that kind of pain. I just ran across my copy of Batman Damned that I kept because we were going to do that radio play.
Oh, God, yeah.
And now that we're like 3 years late with that, I think it's time I got rid of that book. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think we're just so busy. Like it's really a struggle to get everybody on the same night now.
It's a struggle just to get two of us together for like today. So
yeah, Sundays are pretty tough.
Our schedules are all completely whacked out. Let me show you something. And Day, do you have any reading lined up for recovery time? Actually, what I'd like to do during my recovery is catch up on some television that I missed. And that is, I need to see Winter Soldier and Loki and The Boys and the Justice League Snyder Cut. Those are like my top 4. And then, of course, there's Star Trek Discovery and Picard. So that's 6 things that I have to all watch this week. And I bet I don't get one thing seen.
And Fast and Furious.
Sending good vibes from Montreal. Nice. Oh, I just went back to Northern Virginia, went to Dominion Brewery. They make the best root beer in the United States. I'm sorry you're diabetic, Chest Rockwell. Dominion root beer is so good. It is the perfect root beer. It's made with honey.
Ooh, well, he could lose a foot. I mean, you got 2, so you could give one up.
Yeah. Here's more everybody's wishing me well, which I really appreciate. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Jake. I was just on Jake's show. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Brave and the Boys. I really dug that. Being on their show. Let me show you. And somebody said that we were the first 2 they saw on YouTube.
Oh God. Oh, how long ago was that?
Well, you'll see when you read this. Johnny says, you guys are the first 2 I came across on YouTube regarding collected editions, just with the Spectre and Comics Guide, Absolute All-Star Superman.
Wow, that's old.
Yeah, I said that was one of your more famous videos. That was one of the ones before I joined Riley's Facebook page. I even saw that video because I had heard about it.
Yeah, that's an oldie. That's before we even did the show. I was still at my parents' house at that point.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I didn't even know you. You were a YouTuber that I didn't even know. And I think that's one of your, from my perspective, it's one of your most well-regarded videos because you spoke from the heart so much about what went on in the book.
Yeah, that video is very popular. I did a video a few years ago on Comicsgate that's really popular, but I don't see a dime of it. In terms of it's got over like 47,000 views, I think, and I don't see a dime of that video. I think that's what it was.
Why?
Because it's Comicsgate, and the minute you put Comicsgate in the title or anything like that, you lose ad revenue.
Oh.
Yeah, so I haven't seen a dime of that video. I tried fighting it; they never gave me anything back. That one's popular. The Batman Damn video is actually pretty popular, but it's kind of split down the middle of 50-50, where I've got people that are like, "Man, you were totally right. This book was terrible," and the other ones are like, "Well, I guess you just like simple books, or you really don't understand how complex Batman Damned really is." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I'd jump off the planet if somebody said that to me. Speaking of negative videos, when I was on Jake's show, The Brave and the Boys, Jake asked me a really good question. He said, you're known for your positivity. How do you feel that your most popular video is also your most negative video? Do you know what one I'm talking about?
Oh, is it Batman Damned?
No, it's Neal Adams Batman.
Oh,
I thought that was a really good question.
That is a very good question. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I don't. You know, I thought about it, and I said, well, I was just being honest, and I just said that it sort of hurt personally that no one gets to. I'll sum it up because I gave him like a 10-minute answer. But I'll sum it up just saying that it hurt that you guys don't get to see what I saw back in the late 60s, early 70s. And that was how much Neal Adams art really changed the comics book world, the world of comic books, because his art was so dynamic and different and lifelike. And it was coming, Batman was coming off like Batman 66 and Outer Space Batman and the Grasshopper Gang and stuff, I told him. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's Neal Adams, who always says if superheroes existed, the way he drew them is the way they'd look.
Wow.
And they're anatomically he's such a great artist. He's so great at drawing, figure drawing, life itself. And you guys aren't going to get to experience that until you see the original late Silver, early Bronze Age Batman and World's Finest, and some of the other stuff he did, because he wiped it all out with those what I called garish colors, and he re-inked everything. So it just doesn't, you can't really tell just how powerful an impact he had back then.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking at his stuff now, you can look in the Dead Man Omnibus, because they didn't touch up his art there. And just pick up any mid-60s Batman book and then look at Adams' art in the Spectre, even though he's drawing the Spectre, and just see what the difference in art style is. And you can see what a huge impact Neal Adams had. And he was easily my favorite artist for the longest time. But not only did he re-ink everything, but I don't think he's the artist he used to be.
He's the George Lucas of comics.
Did somebody say that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't think he's quite as good as he was, and so you're not getting his best quality stuff in that book. And so I gave Jake an even longer answer to that, because I get so passionate about it, but it'll be rectified if DC follows through with its Omnis.
It's it's a shame. We've had several discussions in regards to recoloring and whether it ruins or it enhances current editions. There are certain exemptions. I think for the most part, I'm not a fan too much of doing recoloring. There are certain books that I'm like, wow, that actually worked out pretty well. I think the Walter Simonson Thor Omnibus, the recoloring on that is just right. It's beautiful. It makes it pop really well, and they didn't tamper with it too much. The Swamp Thing Absolutes, I'm not a fan of the recoloring on it. I think it does take away a little bit of the mystique and a little bit of just the kind of like the shadowy and garishness horror element that I really love from that series, and it just makes everything pop a bit too much. I'm like,
yeah.
I kick myself in the face every time because I used to have those nice little hardcover deluxe editions, and they were beautiful. They were perfect. They even had some of the paper that I like to feel, that old school kind of.
Is it the matte paper that it's got?
Paper. I love them. If I remember right, it's the matte paper. I love that paper.
Yeah.
And Neal Adams is one of those guys where I don't have the history with Neal Adams' work as much as you do. And I obviously have never read the Neal Adams stuff. That's kind of a hole in my back catalog that I should rectify. But from everything you've told me, it's that he went so far into the recoloring that it's almost garish. Like, you really did not like the recoloring that he did in that book. And it's kind of a damn shame, because everything you've told me was that when Neal Adams first came onto the scene doing Batman, it was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, and that was, back in 1968, there were barely any comic book stores. There was obviously no internet, no way for us I went to San Diego Comic-Con in 1975, and it was like practically in a gymnasium with a bunch of sweaty guys selling comic books out of comic book boxes, and now it's this gigantic citywide thing, but it was such a small hobby that it was just me getting excited about it. And then I got even more excited when I saw the Green Arrow, Green Lantern series that he and Denny O'Neil did. But there was nobody for me to talk to about it and say, look how great this is. I just felt that way myself. So that is one thing about the internet, is at least it gives us the opportunity to talk to each other about maybe new discoveries, or look at this artist, or try and read this book. Whereas back then, collected editions didn't even exist. And if you missed a floppy on the newsstand at the drugstore, you were out of luck. You had to go to a bookstore in LA, is where I would go every summer to find all my comics. My brother lived there, and he would take me to all these bookstores, and I'd have to find my back issues there for, a dime.
Back then, when you really had to do like diving into the back issue bins, man, and I'm going to assume nothing was really organized that well. So you had to just go through it like crazy. Yeah.
And of course, that's when I got all the dopey stuff that I liked, like all the DC dopiness, instead of picking up the first Spider-Man or picking up Fantastic Four 50 and 48 and 49 or something. I would just go, oh, Bizarro World, good.
Oh. And now here you are in 2020 kicking yourself like, you idiot.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I mean, I was still looking for that stuff in 1990. So, I mean, I've had several chances to buy Marvel stuff early, but that's neither here nor there now. But
I would argue, even in, what would you think, the 80s, you could still probably find a good amount of key issues in stores, and you weren't paying the thousands and thousands of dollars you're going to be paying now, right? It's because how much they've blown up in popularity and the pop culture and stuff like that, that those golden age and those silver age key issues have just skyrocketed in price.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you could find in the 90s, even Hulk 181, probably $50.
First appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there was the big book then was Spider-Man 129 because of Punisher back in the 90s. I don't even remember 181 being that big of a book, but like you go to a small con and it was like everybody had a copy of First Punisher.
Wow.
I don't remember 181 being as popular as 129 was. Now it's obviously different.
Yeah, it's always, to me, it's always interesting. Kind of jumping back into the Neal Adams talk, it's always interesting how certain artists will always be tied to certain characters, and they are identified by that character in a lot of ways. I know for a generation of kids, Jim Lee is the X-Men guy. He drew the X-Men. They think Jim Lee's X-Men when they think of X-Men. Probably Gabe is one of those guys because that's when he really started collecting heavily.
Yeah.
For guys that are a little bit younger and that grew up in the 2000s, it's probably going to be for Batman 2010, 2011, Greg Capullo. Greg Capullo is probably going to be the Batman guy for a lot of people that were just kind of coming of age and
That's
starting.
A good point. Yeah, that is a really good point.
So it's always fascinating to me to see how artists and writers get paired, and they will, no matter what they do, they're always going to be that writer or artist that's attached to that. Frank Miller, Daredevil, in his heyday. Bendis, Daredevil, in his heyday. Baker, Captain America, which, I mean, name me a better Captain America run than Ed Brubaker's run.
I still haven't read it. It's still on my list for this year to read. I suck. I know. So maybe that's something I should start this week.
It's so good.
I know. I feel so ashamed. That's one thing I'm actually kind of ashamed that I haven't read.
Mm.
I mean, I've had it so long that the books have already come back into print.
Yeah. I mean,
Had them when they were in print, then they went out of print. Now they're back in print. That's how long I've had them. I haven't read them.
And for me, when I always think of Fantastic Four, because I'm a sucker for the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko era Fantastic Four. Like that was
Jack Kirby?
Yeah, Jack Kirby, excuse me.
Yeah.
Stan Lee, Jack Kirby era Fantastic Four. That was my gateway drug into the Fantastic Four. I wanted to start at the very beginning, and it's wordy. It's really wordy. It's dense. It's a little bit clunky by today's standards, but they were just doing something else completely different than anybody else at the time. It was so fucking brilliant, even for its time, man.
Yeah. I feel that way about, speaking of Ditko, about Spider-Man, the first 50, 60 issues of Lee and Ditko, however far Ditko went with Spider-Man. I have a real fondness for that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
At the very beginning with Parker being the nerdy teenager without any confidence, and Flash Thompson being the bully, and all these wacky villains. That to me, that's the same way Fantastic Four is with you. I really have a fondness, even though I'm sure it doesn't read as well to people now, maybe generally, as some of the other Spider-Man stuff. I just love what a dork Peter Parker was, how he, how it all happened. I think it's really fun.
Yeah. It's so are you a Ditko or John Romita Sr. fan?
That's a good question. I'm looking at both of those books right now, Omnibus 1 and 2.
Two different styles. Two different styles.
Two different styles.
I would argue Senior's art holds up better than Ditko's.
You're probably right. Yeah. I think you're right. I think Ditko's is probably a little stiff.
Yeah.
Compared to what Romita Sr. did. Yeah, I would say you're right that Romita Sr.'s is way more dynamic than Ditko's stuff. Yeah.
So are you kind of split? Like, I don't know if I could go with Ditko or, because I think they both have their strengths, in terms of their art.
Yeah. I mean, if you're asking me who the better artist was, I guess it was Romita, but who I enjoy the most was Ditko.
Okay, cool, man. That's really cool.
Well, this is actually a good point by Sasmer. Ditko did do a good Doctor Strange too. It seemed to fit his style better. Yeah. Johnny brings up, Atit, I'm getting my ass kicked by Goodreads. I was ahead for a long time, and now Goodreads is just mocking me on my challenge. I don't even like to look at it now. I'm like 30 books behind. And it's not like I haven't been reading. I need to read like 25 thin trade paperbacks to catch up.
Jesus, Jess.
Well, it was more of a way just to keep track of what I read.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know how many books to say I was going to read. I just picked 350. I think next year I'll probably pick 250. That's a more likely number to hit. Yeah, I mean, it'll, if you read an omnibus, a big omnibus, it takes a while, whereas you could knock off 5 trades in that same time period.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through Sandman, I killed an absolute a day with Sandman. And it's like 25. That's because I was so hooked into the story. I really wanted to finish it. So I would go through an absolute, and that's like 25 issues. The next day I'd do the next absolute, and so on until I wrapped up the whole series. And I was like, wow, I kind of feel empty inside now. I rushed through it. I rushed through the whole thing. I'm like, wow.
This is a good statement about Adams that he was unstoppable then, Batman, Spectre, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. His covers on the Tarzan paperbacks and on Aurora Tarzan model kits helped tremendously with those sales. Now, I didn't even know that he did art for Tarzan paperbacks, but I remember that those were the kind of collected editions we'd get is paperbacks, like you see. I don't even know how to describe them. Dime store novels, dime novels. Those were our collections. I didn't build any Tarzans. I used to build cars, so I didn't see any Neal Adams Aurora Tarzan art. That would be cool. I need to look that up.
You used to build model cars?
As a kid, those Aurora model cars, there was a tarantula that I liked, and with the glue, and I'd take them to summer camp sometimes and build them at rest period, and I'd do them at home.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I love building model cars. It was really fun. I wasn't the best gluer. I wasn't super meticulous as a 10-year-old, but I enjoyed putting them together. Yeah.
It always amazes me. Are you in the manga group by any chance? Okay, well, even in Crypto's Den, sometimes you see all these people with like these elaborate models and stuff like that, and these tiny little pieces that they've put together and built, and it's incredible stuff, man. And even more incredible is when you see stuff like what Tyler does, where he takes photos and he poses them and he makes it look kind of like they would in a scene or something. It's pretty wild what people do these days.
Yeah, Tyler's really creative with what situations he puts them in. He comes up with really good ideas. I don't want him to know that I'm speaking positively about him, but I really admire his photography because he comes up with so many cool ideas.
He really does.
Yeah,
he really does.
One thing I'm going to be getting into maybe this week is Lego. I need to put together the Batmobile first, and then I want to put together the Rusty Biscuit from The Mandalorian that I got for my birthday.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to because they have shown set photos. The 1989 Batman is in the new Flash movie. They've shown set photos of it. And I'm hoping they reissue like a model or a hot toy.
What now?
Yes.
First of all, I didn't even know there was a new Flash movie.
Yeah.
Starring the kid from Justice League?
Yes, it's Flashpoint.
Okay, and Batman 89 is in it?
He's in it. They've confirmed he's in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
Keaton is back. They have shown set photos of Keaton back on the set and everything like that. He's got hair now, but it's a wig.
Oh yeah, and I guess they could use CGI to youthify him up.
Yeah. So he's in the movie, and you could see in the background, like they've shown set photos. The 1989 Batmobile is back.
Oh,
which you know what that means. There's going to be product. There's going to be merchandise that's going to come out, and if there's a hot toy that comes out with that 1989 Batmobile, oh my god, oh my god,
that was a great Batmobile.
Oh my god, yeah. Double parking that thing or parallel parking, it must be a bitch.
Batman doesn't parallel park that, man. He just pulls up and jumps out.
Hey, speaking of hot toys, speaking of toys in general, did you get it? Did you get the Galactus?
I did, yeah.
You got the Galactus. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be my last big purchase for a long time. Because not only that, but I got the Lego Daily Bugle.
Dude.
The Lego hobby is wife approved. She's the one that suggested it.
Okay. All right.
She doesn't know I have it, but she knows I have the Rusty Biscuit.
Oh,
she got it for me.
Does she know about Galactus, Jess?
No, she will when it shows up though. That's going to be hard to hide. That thing's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, it's a big boy. It's a real big boy. Can you Do you know how to pull up photos? Can we pull up some photos of it?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's see. I have.
He's a big boy, man, but it's still being backed, right? The whole thing has to be backed up through.
Yeah, this says it's halfway there. It's got 7,200 backers. In 2 days, it's got 7,200 backers, and it needs 14,000.
Oh, so yeah, it'll be fun. It's gonna make.
Let me bring this over to Chrome from. Okay, now I can share it. What? That's not the one I want. Wait. That's the search, you dope. All right, let's try this again. Having issues? Yeah, I am having issues. Chrome tab. Okay. Oh, I see. There it is. Okay. Let me go over to it and scroll. Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, God.
So 7,200 backers, target 14,000. It's only been up since Friday. Here he is.
Wow.
Whoop. Oh. The hell? What just happened?
I think you must have clicked on something. Go back.
I know.
There he is.
That was weird. Okay. Here he is. And then there's this other face.
You got the alternating head.
You get 3 heads, I think. There's this like zombie corpse head. There's his back. There is 25 points of articulation hands.
Oh my God.
And there's the other head. Angry Galactus. And there's Proud Galactus.
So my wedding's in November. If anybody wants to consider throwing me a wedding gift my way,
I would totally put this on your
wedding registry.
Yeah, in your registry. I mean, there has to be something for the groom too. Oh, and here's the comparison with the Legend, normal Marvel Legend.
Wow.
And I believe they've already said that the first tier is going to be an action figure. So you already know you're going to get probably some Herald.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I mean, he goes up to his shin, a 6-inch action figure.
That is crazy.
There's Reed Richards looking up at Galactus. So I think that's it. Yeah.
That's impressive. That is a thing of beauty, man.
But what I am a fan of the Fantastic Four. I know that they keep in Hickman's. They kept the corpse of, which I love. They kept the corpse of Galactus in the basement of the Baxter Building or wherever it was, and used it as travel. But what's this face from in particular?
I don't know. You got me on that.
This sort of skull face. Does somebody out there know exactly where they are? Where that skull face came from?
I've lost track, honestly, of the amount of times that Galactus has died, been brought back, and then died again. I feel like it's happened quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Let's see, new comments. I'm not getting them. Yeah, I just maybe I'm behind. I think I'm behind a little all of a sudden. I just talked about Lego. I think that somehow I got behind comments and I'm not able to get them. Are you seeing comments?
Yeah, I'm seeing them.
The last one I've got is Sazmurf at 220.
No, I see Patel's underneath that.
I wonder how I can. My comments have. Oh, okay. So is this the last comment?
Yeah, that's the last one we've gotten so far.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. You'd have to read the book to see how his corpse is in there.
I mean, doesn't he shrinks down? We've seen instances where Galactus shrinks.
He's been through some iterations, yeah.
Yeah. There was the Cloud. There was the Space Cloud in the Fantastic Four 2 movie.
Yeah, that was regrettable.
Yeah, I don't get why we can't get a good Fantastic Four movie. Like, why can't it be done? I mean, we got The Incredibles, and that's the closest thing we've had.
Yeah. Oh, NFL Dude says Skullface Galactus was a character in Kate Shaw Thanos.
Was it? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. I read that, and I don't remember that. We don't talk about that movie. I mean, we're all expecting an FF movie from Disney now, right?
Yes. They've announced the director. It's the guy that's done the last few Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, I love those. The Tom Holland ones?
Mm-hmm. He's the one doing he's the one doing the FF.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I love those Tom Holland ones.
Yeah, we still don't have an exact date of when they're gonna drop those movies and stuff like that, but I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy those Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They're really good.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, we have 10 minutes now, so why don't we talk about our thoughts on spoilers, our thoughts on Black Widow. We are now going to spoil Black Widow because we're going to talk about it now.
Okay.
So cover your ears or leave the stream. Peace and love. Shop at IST if you're leaving the chat. In stock trades where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. There's always a $50 gift card given at the end of every month to a viewer out there. $50 or more in an order in the United States gets you free shipping. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. So now we're talking about Black Widow, and spoilers are up. I think it sounds like from the chat that I might have liked it better than you did.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was just okay.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was just action-packed. My movie buddy and I thought it was like the actioniest, action-packed action movie we've seen. It seemed like nonstop action, and I thought I loved the twist in it. There was I loved the twist that I never saw coming with on the ship with the bad guy whose name is, I don't know, Dr. Krakow or whatever it was. I never would have I would have never guessed. I thought they were totally sold out, and it turned out they had it absolutely in hand, which I thought was boss. And I thought it was bitching how she broke her own nose so she could take him out.
That was
good. Now, what's the girl's name that played her sister, the actress? She's awesome.
Florence Pugh. She plays Yelena in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, she has mastery of that accent that my girl Elizabeth Olsen never had in the Avengers movies with Scarlet Witch. Her Scarlet Witch's accent went all over the place.
Oh my God. Yeah.
To the point where in WandaVision, they just gave up on it.
If I could sit down with Kate Olsen, I'd be like, sweetie, it's okay. Just stop.
Elizabeth Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they just gave up on it in WandaVision.
They really did.
They even made fun of it. They, where's your accent? And he said, "Where's your accent?"
She really should just drop it. The accent. I don't think anybody's going to be clamoring, "Oh, where's her accent?" if it doesn't come back.
I think it's gone now with WandaVision. Now she doesn't have to worry about it. But Florence Pugh was just perfect with it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen. I'm not as big of a cinema goer as you are, or a movie watcher, so I haven't seen her in anything else.
She was in Midsommar. Is her biggest thing. Midsommar is great.
Okay, and that was the follow-up effort from the guy from Hereditary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She was awesome. I thought I can see why people feel like she sort of stole the show. As great as Scarlett Johansson is, it's so funny when she landed. She landed in the ship from the ceiling and tossed her hair back like Black Widow does, and then just rolled her eyes and goes, "Oh," and just makes fun of that move. It's so good.
See, the thing is, for me, I can never. Every time they do one of those little poses and superhero landings, I always think Deadpool, because he's ruined it for me because of the movie. He does the same pose and he stands up and his knee cracks, and he's like, "Oh God, what the fuck?"
Atit says, "Oh, I'd see this movie. I like Little Women. Florence was good in Little Women too. Mm-hmm. I've seen several Little Women, but I haven't seen that one, so I'll check that one out." They are. My sources tell me that they're setting up the Hawkeye TV show with what you're referring to, Saz Merv.
The post credit scene sets up the Hawkeye TV show.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
And Ghost Who Walks loves Black Widow. Black Widow's great. Florence Pugh is perfect. Yeah, I agree with that. Happy Sunday. That's all right. Although that would have been cool if it was Dark Avengers. Yeah, I think that it's going to the TV show. I don't remember that her accent came back. I thought her accent stayed gone. I don't know if it did. I hope it's gone forever. I don't need that accent to be happy. Black Widow would have been much better if it came out right after Civil War. Yeah, it would have been better if it came out when it was supposed to last year, probably too.
Yeah. You know what? I liked it. I liked Black Widow. I thought it was really good.
And I didn't hate. I know you hated it, and I don't blame you, but I didn't hate the version of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh my God!
I know you hated it.
Oh my God! Oh God!
It took me a while to figure out. I was like, "Wait, is this? Oh yeah, this is what Lou hated." But she sang the words just like he does, enough to the point where I had to Google the lyrics because I never figured out what those last, very, very, very last words were. And it's a denial, and I didn't know that because it's always.
Oh God, I fucking hate that trend right now where they take a popular song and they slow it down for dramatic effect to make you feel so sad and to make you feel really emotional in a scene. Oh God, no, don't do that. Don't do it. I don't want to hear Smells Like Teen Spirit that's sung through a can because some 16-year-old kid is feeling really sad and they think, this is so deep and emotional. No, they did it in Pro Tools. They slowed the song down, and they made you think like an idiot that it was a really emotional moment of the song. It's terrible. Everybody's doing that stupid thing now.
That's funny. Yeah, I loved Red Guardian too. I love him as an actor. I'm sorry that he got saddled with Hellboy. He's capable of so much more.
Him and Florence Pugh were my favorite parts of the movie. I love them both, man. I want more Yelena and I want more Red Guardian. He was great.
Yeah, he really was. I loved the whole I loved him in the whole movie. I loved when he tried to put on his uniform and everything. It was great when they hinted at they still turned each other on, and the girls were going, "Oh God, gross," and don't talk about it. And yeah, I enjoyed all the action. I don't have as deep a connection to Taskmaster the way the rest of you guys do, so I didn't care. Taskmaster was just a reflection. I mean, that's always been Taskmaster's thing, right? That he can always, he knows your moves and can reflect them and beat you that way.
Yes, that's basically Taskmaster's shtick.
And you didn't like it that it was his daughter?
You know what? I'm in the same boat as you. I don't have the same attachment as some of the other guys with Taskmaster, but I thought, he's a nothing character to me. As far as like in the overall film, he's really a nothing character. I thought the twist that it was the daughter, I was like, huh, okay. Well, I really didn't see that coming. That actually caught me off guard. I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty good twist. I do think it does take a little bit away from Natasha as a character, because that was the whole reason she felt so much guilt. And it's like, well, she's alive now. So Natasha really didn't she kind of settled with that and made peace with it.
Yeah, she whispered "I'm sorry" to her as she was like practically dead.
Yeah, so that's kind of done. I mean, Taskmaster is still alive and all that other stuff. I think my biggest gripe is that I thought it, like I said in the chat, I think it's an okay movie. It's pretty good. I'm going to, when I eventually do my rewatch of the MCU, it's going to be one of those where it's like, oh, it's a Thor 1 or it's a Ant-Man 1, where I'm like, yeah, this is a fun movie. You know, I don't hate it. It's okay. This is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have been spoiled so much where every MCU film, you are expecting it to move the goalpost as far as what the next thing is to come after that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because we just don't know what the ramifications of this movie are going to be as a fallout later on, outside of introducing Yelena. So I was kind of hoping maybe we get a little bit of a tease of like something greater later on that's going to happen. But we ended up getting that in the season finale of Loki. So I'm cool with that too.
And I guess you told me that that's the one show I really need to see because it has the most ramifications on the MCU.
Loki is, after watching, you haven't seen it, so I'm going to not spoil anything for you. But yes, you need to see season 1 of Loki, because the season finale is okay, but it's the last 10 minutes that really, really save that season finale. And that is where a lot of what seems like the ramifications of what's going forward in the MCU is going to come out of.
Okay. Well, I will definitely watch it and Winter Soldier and Falcon this week. I agree with Ghost Who Walks. I thought that was a nice, tender moment when he started singing American Pie to Yelena.
Mm-hmm.
That was sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm hoping that they bring back all those characters. Obviously, they're going to bring back Yelena. She's probably going to be in Hawkeye. Can we get Jeremy Renner a better haircut? My God.
And what the picture that Elaine from Seinfeld showed her?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Was it really bad?
Dude, it's pretty bad.
Well, I don't remember. Was it a buzz cut or spiky? What was it?
It's almost like a bowl cut. Like he's got long hair here, but the sides are shaved and stuff.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's pretty bad. It's
That's really weird. I don't remember it. I just was like, what's Elaine doing there?
Okay, so you're not the only one that the minute you see her, you think Elaine from Seinfeld, like right away, right?
Oh, I never saw Veep, so she's
Mm.
not Veep to me. I heard it's great and that I really should see it, but no, she's always going to be Elaine to me. I guess I should see Veep because it is apparently great, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I need to watch Veep. But to me, she shows up at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. She was kind of the big
Oh, she
reveal.
did.
Yes, she was the big reveal at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that gives context to who she is.
Okay, now I really need to see that. Okay.
Yes. So she was the big reveal. Nobody knew she was on the show either. That was kind of a huge reveal. Like, oh shit, she popped up at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and she has a greater role.
Was Kramer with her?
No, but I wish he was. Cosmo Kramer.
What was I going to say? Oh, I don't think did I talk to you since my wife and I finished Queen's Gambit?
I think you mentioned it to me.
That I think may be one of our favorite things that we've ever seen.
I told you, man.
Now we're watching Schitt's Creek, and that is, completely a different thing, but we're loving the hell out of Schitt's Creek. But that actress, good grief, Queen Gambit, she's unbelievable.
She's so good.
How she goes from the young version of herself to the older version of herself, and the whole world. I mean, you don't have to be. I don't know anything about chess, and this thing was riveting.
Yeah, it's really good. I loved Queen's Gambit.
I will say I'm not a nitpicker, and neither's my wife. The one thing she said to me that of course I didn't pick up on, but she said is the very final scene. This is a spoiler for Queen's Gambit, so if you haven't seen Queen's Gambit, don't listen. But at the very, very end, where she gets out of the car in Russia and goes to play street chess with some old Rusky back in the 60s.
Yeah.
We just don't see how they would have let her get out of the car and run away from him and go to some park, because she was under constant guard the whole time. But I thought it was a sweet touch that all she wants to do is just go play street chess with the guy, and they all recognized her. And the old Rusky, she talks to him in Russian, like, let's go. And he goes, okay, good. I mean, that was such that thing just built and became so great. You were 100% dead on. I'm so glad I followed your recommendation, because my wife loved it too.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed it. What you need to watch next is Ted Lasso.
Oh, I've heard it's so good. Is that funny, or is it different?
It's funny. It's very lighthearted. It's very funny. I think your wife would enjoy it. And they're only 20-minute episodes, and there's only one season so far. Season 2 starts next week.
Okay. You and Gabe have directed me into the direction of good stuff to watch. So I would be happy to suggest that next. When we're done with Schitt's Creek, I'll tell her about Ted Lasso.
Absolutely. I think you two will both enjoy Ted Lasso. I loved it.
Okay, good. So I give Black Widow an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Okay, that's solid. I give it a 7. It's pretty good.
It sounds like you felt it was more like a 7.
Yeah, it's about a 7. It didn't bother me like Thor: The Dark World or some of the other stuff, but it was good. It was overall good. I don't regret doing the $30 premiere access thing on Disney Plus.
Oh, you watched it at home? Okay.
Fuck yeah, dude! If I can watch it at home, I will watch it at home. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's where I want to watch every movie from now on. Is at home.
God, I was talking to my fiance about this yesterday. We were watching something on TV, and I was like, you know what? I really do hope more theaters and more places, more movie companies adopt the model of day and date. It shows up on streaming. If you want to watch it at home, you can watch it at home. Because I hate going to the movie theater now. I don't like going to see stuff with 30 other people, and then you've got kids running down the aisle and people with their phones and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree. I want to watch everything at home from now on. And basically, you've got a setup where you've got you've got a state-of-the-art system anyway. You've got sound that people call the police about. So
yeah, I've had that happen. I had that happen once in my old apartment.
But yeah, you've got the awesome sound system and the great screen and everything. So you really don't need to leave. And I have something that's just fine. I mean, we upgraded to a 4K HD TV and disc player is 4K, and I got Apple 4K, and so everything's 4K, and it better not change in the next 2 years.
You're good for about 5 years. Yeah, I think you're good for about another 5-6 years, man.
Okay, good. Thing is, for Sazmurf, too many distractions at home. Oh, okay. But yes, I like being able to pause if I need to use the restroom. Yeah. And Matthew says, I have a 23-inch TV with built-in speakers, and it's still better than a theater. So I think that's probably it for us today. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched. I can turn off the spoilers now. I don't think we're going to spoil anything anymore. But thanks to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to In Stock Trades for sponsoring us. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. Feel free to comment and visit our sponsor. And Lou, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on YouTube, where you can see my old archive of videos, and Comics Guide 101 on Twitter.
Nice. Thank you, Sazmurf, and thank you, Atit. I appreciate, and thank you, everybody in the chat that wished me well. I appreciate it. I'm going to do my best. And thank you to everybody out there. You can find me on OmniDogs Vault on YouTube and OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. Peace and love. Peace and love.
All right, everybody.